Welcome you all for our history online class. Today we are going to learn about the Constitution of India. Firstly, we'll understand what is mean by the Constitution. So, the Constitution is the supreme law of India. It is a document which describe the rights and duties of its citizens and the way in which it is governed. Have you seen the document of Indian Constitution? Do you recognize the cover page shown in the illustration? If you have seen or if you get a chance to see it, you will agree that it is a very lengthy document. In fact, the Indian Constitution is the longest of all the written constitution. The Indian Constitution is the largest in the world. It took around 2 years, 11 months and 17 days for the assembly to finish writing the entire constitution, and that too handwritten. It was prepared by a representative body known as the Constituent Assembly. Most of its members were deeply involved in a freedom struggle. They are respectfully called the founding fathers of the Constitution. The preamble. The Constitution begins with a preamble, which contains the basic ideals and objectives of the Constitution. A preamble is an introduction to the Constitution. It outlines the vision of the Constitution and helps in understanding and interpreting the Constitution. It is thus called the soul of the Constitution. The preamble declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic. These terms have been explained in detail in next lesson also. The Constitution of India, which came into force on 26 January 1950, starts with a preamble which assures that all Indians are entitled to justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the principal architect of the Indian Constitution and independent India's first law minister. The Constituent Assembly had members belonging to the different communities and regions of India. It also had members representing different political parties. Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Shama Prasad Mukherjee, Sardar Baldev Singh. There were more than 30 members from scheduled caste as well. Anglo-Indian community was represented by Frank Anthony, while Parsis were represented by H.P. Modi. Constitutional experts like Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, B.R. Ambedkar, K.M. Munshi were also members of the assembly. Sarojini Naidu and Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit were important women members. The key features of the Constitution of India. Main features of our Constitution are written Constitution. The Indian Constitution, like the Constitution of America, is a written Constitution. Partly rigid and partly flexible. It can change and grow with the passage of time, but the procedure for amendment is neither as easy as in England nor as difficult as in USA. Amendment means changes. Okay. Federal in structure but unitary in spirit. The Indian Constitution is federal in structure. The Constitution divides the powers between the central government and the state government. It means decentralization of powers. Okay, the states are not merely agents of the federal government but draw their authority from the Constitution. but the central government has been made more powerful, making it unitary in essence. Parliamentary form of government. The constitution provides for a parliamentary form of government. Though the president is the head of the executive, the real power are vested with the prime minister. The council of ministers headed by the prime minister is responsible to the Lok Sabha. Separation of power. The constitution provides for three organs of the state: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. To ensure a balance between all three organs, each organ acts as a check on the other organ. Independent judiciary. The makers of our constitution have provided for an independent judiciary. The Supreme Court is the guardian of the fundamental rights of the citizens. It also decides the dispatches between the central government and state and between two or more states. Then, fundamental rights of the citizens. The constitution guarantees several fundamental rights such as right to equality, right to liberty, right to freedom of religion, right to cultural and educational rights, right against exploitation, right to constitutional remedies. And the last one, directive principles of state policy. The provision regarding the directive principles in the constitution are the directions given to the central government and a state government to adopt such a policies which will help establish a just society in our country. Remaining explanation of this chapter will learn in the next period. Students, this is your homework. You have to write it in your notebook. Thank you.